We got about 5 minutes left, so we'll do the last one.
The last one is the barriers. To
Oh, yeah.
remove all your barriers to student success. What would your campus look like?
Will Shepherd. I work at Appalachian State University in university housing. But I started a Black Male Excellence Initiative this year to help all first-year Black males come in to be successful with the help of our Assistant Vice Chancellor, our academics, a faculty member, and then somebody in mental health to help them. And they actually take a class that I teach that I help them with student success programming, and then bringing in people around campus to help with financial literacy, et cetera, et cetera.
Are they all required to take your class?
They are.
Oh.
Yes, and they live in a living, learning community also.
Okay. Anyone else want to chime in about barriers that could be removed?
I'll do one that's really simple that COVID brought about. I don't know if you've noticed, but in our cafeteria, students were not allowed to take takeout.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't allowed to take their food with them prior to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because of COVID, we obviously are thinking about, social distancing and too many people in our small cafeteria space, and we're only down to one large eating space on campus. So now, by force, students are allowed to take takeout. But what I've seen that it has done is it's put students in spaces to study together, to relax together, to meet with faculty outside of the cafeteria in a more relaxed setting. And to me, I don't know if that's a student barrier, but it has opened up a different side of our campus and allowed us to have touch points at spaces that we would not have touch points, just from taking their lunch out of the cafeteria. And we're actually sponsoring a lunchtime session soon where they're going to take their lunch and join us for lunch.
On the Oval in a tent.
In a tent outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll mention one of the other barriers. Sometimes students don't know where they stand. And I think this has really become a problem during the pandemic because everyone's dealing with the pandemic. It's not just the students, it's the faculty too. And I think sometimes when students don't know where they stand, they have a tendency to make a decision that may not necessarily be based in reality, in that they think that they're doing well and they don't end up doing well. And that leads to a grade that's not a passing grade, or it may end up being a withdrawal for the student. And so I would say that when possible, is really important for students to know where they stand in their classes. And so a barrier would be not having those grades posted at midterm. Quite frankly, I think that can be problematic for students. And then it becomes problematic for us because they end up on that list of students who we are reviewing. And I'm not sure if other folk have that issue on their campus, but that's certainly a barrier that I see as being problematic.
I think this year we were able to remove a barrier, right? Through CARES Act funding, we were able to eliminate debt for students. And that has probably caused most of our campuses to see a surge in enrollment because we've had students who were able to return to the college because that previous debt was removed. It's created other challenges for us because now we have to do some logistical things to manage this surge. But at least we were allowed to have them come back.
Yeah. I think the other barrier, at least right now during this pandemic time, is that we are actually back. And so some people are seeing students in person. We are not in my office. However, they're still coming to the door and they're in the next 2 or 3 minutes on a Zoom call with us. So I still think that them being here on campus has removed for them some of the barrier that they experienced because we were in this virtual space for such a period of time. And still to some degree in a virtual space, but they can still see us on campus. I think it's removing a bit of a barrier for the students who have been greatly impacted by the pandemic.
We want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon.